Hey y'all, Iric Sky here, and welcome to George Cooney the Raccoon live show, episode number 2. That's right, George Cooney, arguably the most famous raccoon in the world. So what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and we're going to flip the camera. We're going to flip the camera here to George Cooney. George Cooney, excuse me, sir. Okay, so George Cooney's going to be here. Let me make sure I got my audio set up. I'm going to go get the food for George Cooney and crew. So you'll see me on the camera here. Feel free to super chat if you want to, comment. I'll be back at my laptop here in just a moment. But I've got to get the raccoon food. Got to feed the raccoons. Oh, and by the way, this is a live stream here. So what you're seeing, you're going to see everything in real time. So here we go. Let me go get my raccoon food. It's smorgasbord. We got a bunch of food, y'all. I know y'all are waiting. Yep. And you are on the live stream. This is George Cooney's live stream. God, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 raccoons. How many of y'all are coming tonight? Did I prepare enough dinner? That's the question. Let's start out with a little appetizer here. George Cooney, you're front and center. Here you go. Here's a piece of bread. There you go. And here's another piece of bread. Now we got a lot more. This is just the appetizer. Oh, and I got some of those little cracker snacks in here. Let me get some of those off to you, okay? Ooh. Actually, those kind of landed close to the camera. We don't want to do that. Now I got some big stuff I'm going to throw y'all's way. Let's see, let me zoom in here. Oh man, excitement. Yes, yes, yes. And by the way, everybody is super chatting or commenting. I'm going to be back to my studio camera here in a second. Whoa, dude, you're like coming right up to the studio, man. Yo. Whoa, 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 whoa. Up close and personal. It's like, man, I like these cracker snacks. Yes, you do. But we got a bunch more coming. Now that's just, again, this is just the appetizer here. So we've got a bunch of stuff. Whoa, huge raccoon. Enormous raccoon. Whoa. There's George Cooney. George Cooney is the celebrity of the group. Now his raccoon friends are very famous too. But let's see now. Hey, I've got a bunch of stuff. Now this is going to excite y'all. Now please go down. Go down there, sir. Go down there. Thank you. Don't let the food hit you on the way down. Nope, nope, nope. Okay, so we got the food coming. Let's see, we've got a bunch of other stuff too. I'm gonna throw this. I'm gonna throw this in the yard, okay? Here you go. 1, 2, 3. There you go. Oh, yes. Tastes good, huh? Whoa. You like that? Oh, man, there's some more. Oh, yes. There's some more. It's going to keep on coming, okay? Now, if y'all want to super chat, help support the channel, help support the feed, be deeply appreciated. There we go. There's some more. Oh, man, y'all are having a smorgasbord. Smorgasbord. Oh, man. Just so much excitement. Now, see, you can kind of do a... what y'all can do is like a scavenger hunt, because there's so much goodness down there. If y'all just walk around, you can find all of it. Now, I'm going to put these bowls up because I don't want you to eat my bowls. But let me make sure I got a good camera angle here. Yeah, I think that's pretty wide. Get to see all the action. Yeah. Oh, man, excitement, smiles on faces. That's what I like to see. Yes, sir. I'll be right back. Okay, back in the studio. There we go. We got, oh man, we got raccoon action here. Man, he's chowing down. Look at him. He's like, dude, I got so much food. Man, they had a variety. They had some stale crackers. They had some like fish type snacks, you know, those little crackers that look like fish. They had some pineapple. They had some bread. Look at him. He's like, whoa, dude, this is awesome. Yeah, they are in a raccoon. Look at him. He's like, yes. Now, you hear me talking now, but I'm not talking in the at the camera that the raccoons are on, but you can hear them eating. I'll shut up. Here he is. He's they're over there in the corner. He's like, man, look at him. Yeah, 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 yep, 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 yep. He jumped up the wall. He's like, I'll lose some weight, exercise, and then eat a ton of food. They've got so much food, they don't know what to do with all of it. It's like, this is a raccoon feast. Quiet audience tonight. Very quiet. Very quiet audience. Let's see. So flip it over here on the green screen for a little bit. Irish Guys Adventure Channel. YouTube.com//Irix Guy. But let's flip her back over to the raccoons here. Here we go. There we go. Got a raccoon. He's like, man, this pineapple's good. Yes, it is. Good pineapple. He's like, I got pineapple. I got crackers that look like fish. I got pretzels. He's gonna have some taco leftovers here soon. I'm gonna cook. Chef Irix Guy is gonna cook some tacos. So there will be, well, I mean, not significant amount of leftovers, but an acceptable amount. I may drip some of that ground beef juice au jus to the raccoon so they can lick it. One thing they enjoyed the other night was a pumpkin that was rubbed generously with peanut butter. Check out that video. Subscribe and check out that video. George Cooney and crew, they didn't know what to do with the pumpkin. They were grabbing the pumpkin. They were licking the peanut butter. They were yelling at each other. They didn't know what to do, but they enjoyed it. And so you look at him, he's like, man, this solar light. He's like, you're all green. Yes, sir. Thanks for going green. Taking care of the environment with those solar lights. Very affordable lighting, by the way. And you need to check out my video where I talk about the solar lights. But that's how I've illuminated the entire raccoon dining area. The solar light. So it's power from the sun and a battery and nothing more. So that's a very affordable and environmentally considerate option for lighting. So yeah, they're over there. They're like, man, he's like, what's coming next? What's going to come and feed us next here? And there they are, like, yum 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 yum, chomp 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 chomp. Now that's the fat raccoon there in the corner. Oh, did I offend people by saying fat? Well, sorry if I did, because most people are either skinny or they're fat or they feel that they're perfect. And people that feel they're the perfect size, they typically go one way or the other. They become fat or they become skinny. So, yeah, all this political correctness is ridiculous. But sorry, Mr. Raccoon, if I offended you for calling you fat, I apologize. Sorry. But on that note, look at him. Look at him in the background back there. He's like, dude, he's like, I've got some of these crackers. He's eating it. He's like, yummy, yummy, yummy. See, I gave him the sweet and the savory. I gave him the crackers. I gave him the pineapple. You got to have the sweet. You got to have the savory, the saltiness. They complement one another. And these raccoons appreciate that. These raccoons are not your typical trash pandas. These raccoons have a very sophisticated palate. And they're enjoying every bite. Look at that. Look at it. Like, what's next? It's kind of like you shove a charcuterie board in front of people. And they're like, dude, there's so many options. And then you just start eating it, and it's like, oh man, it's so good. I got cheese, I got crackers, I got meat. I got some grapes. The savory and the sweet. And see, that's what these raccoons are about, man. They're just like, dude, it's like, man, you are feeding us like we're kings. Well, they are kings. They own this mountain. These raccoons, I'm like, dude, I got a YouTube channel. It's called Irish Guys Adventure Channel. It's like, may I produce video content on your mountain? Video content. And the king of the raccoons there, George Cooney, he's like, well, let's talk numbers. And I'm like, okay. Let's be fair about it. I'll entertain your offer, and I'll say yes or no. George Cooney the Raccoon was basically saying that, if I did install my YouTube studio on his mountain, that he would expect something in return. Okay, well, what is that? I'm a haggler. I always want a discount. George Cooney's concern, his primary concern was that, well, if you're installing this fancy YouTube studio on my mountain, how can I feel that, I'm going to be well fed and have the same quality of life? It's like, I'm George Cooney the raccoon. I'm not a multi-billionaire. How do I survive on my mountain if this big corporation, Irish Guys Adventure Channel, comes in and installs a studio? So, in response to George Cooney the raccoon's concern, I said, George Cooney, don't worry about it. And he's like, dude, what's up? And I'm like, well, actually part of Irish Guys Adventure Channel, there's a big cooking component. He's like, oh, cooking component. I see. Yes, sir. There's a big cooking component to Irish Guys Adventure Channel. So I explained to George Cooney that, even though that my intent is to install Irish Guys Adventure Channel studio on George Cooney's mountain, that, I wanted to make sure that it was a mutually beneficial relationship. And he's like, okay, well, explain, tell me what you mean. So I said, well, part of Irish Guys Adventure Channel is electric smoker videos, Masterbuilt electric smoker, Brinkman electric smoker, Pit Boss electric smoker, your traditional charcoal electric smoker, been around the block with smokers. And, and also there's the Blackstone videos, cooking on the flat top. There's traditional charcoal grill with cast iron grates. Maybe I want to grill a steak or a pork chop or a piece of chicken. There's so much variety. And when I started to explain it in those terms, George Cooney the raccoon reacted in a way that I felt was, I felt that it was a nonverbal form of acceptance. He's basically saying, that sounds good, that sounds very tasty. How do I know that? But, the concern, George Cooney the raccoon, his concern was, well, how do I know that this YouTuber is telling the truth? How do I know that Irish Guys Adventure Channel is not just going to come to my mountain, take it over, and turn it into some sort of, multi-million-dollar YouTube enterprise? And, in response to George Cooney's concern, I did say that, that's not my MO. That's not my method of operation. I'm not the type of YouTuber that's, that's out here to, what's the word for it? The flex culture. That's big on YouTube and other sites now. People trying to look big and seem like a hero and this, that, and the other. And I explained to George Cooney, I said, no, that's not my intent. I said, I've got a rather small YouTube channel. At the time of filming this live stream, it's not at 100,000 views. But, my goal is to exceed 100,000 views ASAP. But, I did assure George Cooney that that's not, I'm not here to take over his mountain. I'm here to be on George Cooney's mountain, understanding that George Cooney owns the mountain, and I'm just here running a YouTube studio. So when I explained it in that way, George Cooney and crew, they seem to understand, and the level of concern seem to be radically reduced. So, as you can see, they're having a good time right now. George Cooney and crew, I'm following through with my commitment. I cook, I share. I cook, I share. I'm not here to cook and throw my food, my scraps, down the garbage disposal. No, 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 no. I've got a mountain full of raccoons. My raccoon mountain is full of hungry raccoons. And I will assure you that these are probably some of the fattest raccoons that you will ever encounter. And the reason is they're well fed. I take care of my raccoons. I'm on their mountain, and part of that is ensuring that they're well fed and they're happy and they don't mind having a YouTube studio a few feet away. And again, I don't intrude on their day-to-day raccoon life. I'm not out there with spotlights and this, that, and the other during the night, because raccoons are nocturnal. They like to be out at night. Now, during the day, granted, I may go out and make some noise and have a good time, but I'm not going to disturb them because they're down in their den, they're sleeping, they're far away. They've got, they got their distance. But, I would never go out there at night and start making noise and being obnoxious, because, part of the deal of this mutually beneficial relationship was that, hey, you're coming to our mountain, you're building your YouTube studio in our mountain, we need something in return. And there you have it. They've got what they need. They've got, dude, some of the most obese raccoons you'll ever running my YouTube studio on their mountain. They're happy that I'm here because they know that, well, there's Irish Skies Adventure Channel a few feet away, but what we have? We've got infinite food supply. We've got all kinds of fancy food and basic food. Everything from an air-fried chicken wing to a hot dog to a piece of fat, that rare piece of fat on a filet mignon, a filet mignon, filet mignon. So these raccoons understand. George Cooney and crew, they understand, they appreciate it. And, the main thing is I appreciate their willingness to allow me to, build my studio on their mountain. And you can see they're all congregating on the back of the little rock on the top of the mountain. I'm on the peak of the mountain. And I wouldn't be here if I was not considerate and had a very, very honest conversation with George Cooney and crew. Because if I hadn't had that, they would have said, hey, no chance in the world. You take your YouTube studio, you go somewhere else. You get off of our mountain. But as the result of being considerate when speaking with George Cooney, the raccoon, and his crew, you can see they're hanging out. They're like, dude, that's cool. It's a mutually beneficial relationship. You're building your YouTube studio. You've got a nice view. You've got privacy. But what we get is, good cuisine, good raccoon cuisine. And I delivered. I delivered on that promise, and they're happy. I'm happy. And, this channel it's on the cusp of, again, right now it's not that big. It's at 87,024 subscribers. Got to get to 100,000 subscribers ASAP. As far as video views, I think I'm at about, I think it's 67 million or something like that. It's not too much. But, yeah, it's these collaborations with people, well, not people, but collaborations with anybody. In this case, George Cooney the Raccoon. George Cooney was more than accommodating. Again, George Cooney expressed extreme concern in the beginning. But George Cooney came and said, that sounds good. Again, mutually beneficial relationship. So, as you can see there, I mean, they're like so well fed. They're like, dude, I don't know if I can eat anymore. And I'm like, yeah, you probably can. Actually, they probably shouldn't, because these are probably some of the plumpest, most chubby raccoons you've ever seen. I mean, they're huge. And, nothing wrong with that. Fat, skinny, not fat, not skinny, whatever. I mean, I don't point a finger and poke fun. I mean, I've kind of gotten chubby. I used to work out all the time, and I still do, but, I like to eat good food. And I like to eat dessert and do whatever I want to do. And, sometimes you just gain a little bit of weight. And, my rule of thumb, actually rule of 2 thumbs, is if you feel like you're getting fat, just put 2 fingers on each side of your waistband of your pants. And if it starts to feel tight, then you're eating too much. So you need to change your diet, at least temporarily, and reduce that to where it doesn't feel tight. And that's what I've done. I'm not like, supermodel fit, but I am a 36 in the waist in U.S. And that's not too big, it's not too small. I mean, ideally, I'd probably want to be a 32 or a 34, but 32 is kind of questionable. It's like, dude, that dude's skinny. I don't want to be skinny, and I don't want to be fat. So I think 36 is kind of a good United States waistline to stick at. And I've done that. I've stuck at 36 for past 20 years or so, 20, 30 years. And that's my goal, to be at the waist size where I know that I'm having a good time in life and I can eat whatever I want to eat, but I'm not too big and I'm not too thin. So I think 36 where it's at. But yeah, the raccoons, as you could see, they thoroughly enjoyed this live stream. And, if anyone was concerned that the raccoons may not enjoy it, I mean, dude, they ate so much. They had a feast. They stepped off the camera like bosses. And again, stepping off the camera, they stepped off the side of the mountain. They didn't fall off. Oh, he's coming back. He's like, midnight snack. He's like, I'm going to come back. Midnight snack. He's like, there's some stragglers out here. He's like, I'm going to come back. He's like, oh, yes. He puts his head up. He's so happy when he's eating that. He's like, man, this is so good. But that's what I said. I had to come to again, the raccoons were concerned when they heard that a YouTuber was moving onto their mountain. But that concern has been quickly reduced due to the fact that, they're eating like kings. They really are. They really enjoy this. And, I'm not, and again, I come to an agreement, again, a mutually beneficial agreement between myself, Irish Guys Adventure Channel, and George Cooney the Raccoon. I come to this mutually beneficial agreement. I'm not going to stray away from what I agreed to. And again, the agreement is, I'm on your mountain. I've got my YouTube studio here, but I understand it's your mountain, and I understand that, me being here with my YouTube studio is not something that's going to interfere with your day-to-day life. I'm not here to disrupt the raccoons in any way. They're here. They've been here. They own this mountain. But I own Irish Guys Adventure Channel. This is Irish Guys Adventure Channel Studio. So, I gotta stake my claim to the mountain, but I've got to do it in a way that's fair and balanced. I'm not here to disrupt the raccoon's habitat. I'm not here to disrupt the raccoon's routine. I'm here to enhance their quality of life, and that's what I'm doing. I've got my YouTube studio. Look at this. They got everything they want. They got all this good food, and they were already fat when I moved here. But now they're just going to be, and again, that begs the question, should we have a some sort of raccoon workout routine? Should there be a mandatory fitness routine? I mean, when you eat as much as these raccoons are eating, these trash pandas, like, dude, trash panda, that's offensive. Trash pandas. I won't call y'all trash pandas. That's offensive. I'm sorry. When these raccoons eat, they need to work out. They need to walk up and down the mountain. They need to do some Taebo, or I don't know, should I say Taebo or whatever. Some sort of workout routine to keep themselves fit, because eating and not exercising properly is often not a good thing to do. But you can see they're thoroughly enjoying everything. They're like, man, there's so much food. And this isn't one of those deals. I mean, don't think that Our Skies Adventure Channel moved to these, to George Cooney, the Raccoon's Mountain, and he's going to, like, feed George Cooney and crew, and then he's just going to be like, nope, I took over your mountain. No. I'm honest here. I respect their concern, George Cooney's concern, and I'll promise to continue to deliver, because there's no reason not to. I mean, I'm not here to be the jerk on the mountain and be like, dude, I opened this YouTube studio and now I'm in your way. No, I'm not going to interfere with the raccoons. The raccoons are part of Our Skies Adventure Channel. They're running. They're like, dude, oh, whoa. He stopped. He's looking at something. Oh, I bet I know what it is. It's probably an armadillo, or maybe a fox, or maybe a bobcat. See, you got the raccoon in the foreground here by the solar light. He's eating. You got the other raccoon kind of towards the side of the screen. He's staring at something. There's some sort of animal that's probably about to enter the frame. Could it be a fox? Could it be a wild cat? Dre says, nice and healthy raccoons. Yes, definitely. Healthy, friendly, and nice raccoons. But the fox will probably come because the fox, when there's a bunch of food, the fox likes to come out and be part of that feast. The fox likes to feast. But yeah, you'll see the fox. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and check out my video where I've got the raccoons and the fox all in the same video, and they were just kind of hanging out. It's pretty crazy, man. Pretty crazy. Yeah, those are solar lights, so there's, this is a very environmentally friendly situation. I got my solar lights. He's coming over. He's like, man, there's so much food. Dude, these raccoons, it's like, when you go to like and I'm not a big buffet fan, because typically what you get on a buffet, unless you're at a seafood buffet in a tropical place, typically what you get at a buffet is stuff that's been sitting out for a while. It's not that good. But these raccoons, they had the buffet of sorts for raccoons. I mean, they had just an enormous amount of food. They devoured it. They did not leave hungry, man. I think actually they may be going to bed. Now, again, raccoons are nocturnal. But typically, with a raccoon, they'll eat a big feast, and then they'll just kind of retreat to their cave. These raccoons live in a cave, but they come out every day. They come out every day because they're like, dude, you got a YouTube studio on our mountain. That's unacceptable. They don't say it's unacceptable anymore because now they know. They know it's a mutually beneficial relationship. They know that I've got a YouTube studio in their mountain, but they know that part of my YouTube channel is Chef Irick's guy, so they know they get a lot of food. And I appreciate them being on the mountain because they keep watch of the studio, make sure nothing shady's going on. You know, people coming in, it's like, well, you know, you don't have a pass to Irish Guys Adventure Channel studio. It's kind of like built-in bodyguards. And, I mean, that's something that's hard to get. I mean, you know, these raccoons, they do a ton for the channel. So on that note, Brad says, hey, you picking up the Mavic 3 Classic? Nope. Nah. I like the Mini 3 Pro. It's good. DJI, I like DJI. DJI is the best drone brand in my opinion. It's just kind of become stagnant. They need to release something radically new. And when they do that, I'll pick it up. But yeah, the Mavic 3 Classic, nothing wrong with it. Looks like a great drone. I'm sure it is. I just don't have interest in it. Are you picking one up, Brad? So it looks like the raccoons finished their feast. And that means that what I need to do is get on to my feast. So I've got to fix, actually tonight is taco night, so I got to fix tacos. Do some tacos and, you know, take care of that. So, you know, it's been a